What up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your favorite travel host, Akeem with Live Be Do. Listen, I want to talk about dating overseas. Um, we all travel for different reasons. I am not in a position to, nor do I even have the desire to judge anybody for their travel, why they travel, where they travel, unless it's illegal. But I do want to talk about something that's very, very, very important to me, and that's safety. Safety while traveling. You know, I always push and advocate for travel insurance and um, checking in, checking in with the local expat community and using a buddy system. However, we're all adults, so we do what we want to do. That's fine. People who go to frequent places like Medellin, Cartagena, and other cities, I understand you're you have a short amount of time. You may have a short amount of time, so you want to do things fast. You want to meet somebody, go on a date, do whatever, go out, have drinks and things like that. Be very careful in Colombia. Be very careful in Colombia. There's a saying, so I heard somebody say, don't let the smooth taste fool you. Although you're on vacation, if you're not on a resort, if you're in places like Medellin, you're like in the city. So you're like in communities, in neighborhoods a lot. While you're on vacation, the locals are not. And you have to keep that in mind. And when you go to destinations where there are lots of international travelers or international visitors, you get targeted for things like tours. You get targeted for, not necessarily bad things, but you are targeted. The local business owners are looking to make money, so they have to identify their clients or their potential clients. And so oftentimes in environments like that, we are targeted for good things and bad things. People with good intentions, people with bad intentions. It's just a mix. So I said all that to say this. One of the things that I like to caution guys about when they're dating overseas, while Tinder in the US may be, or dating apps in general in the US may be kind of organic, more on the organic side, where you're like, you're meeting people who are intentional, or might be intentional about dating. Overseas, it's a little different. It might be a little more, you run into a little more transactional meetings, transactional situations. So the primary thing to do in the dating situation for men, number one, check in. Check in, whatever city you go to, check in with the expat community. Let somebody know where you are. Let somebody know, and like I said, we're all adults, but even when I travel, somebody knows where I am. Somebody knows if I'm hiking in the morning before everybody goes. That's where this came from, proof of life. Because I would get up in the morning and hike by myself, and I would just take selfies at different locations as proof of life. So it's funny because I didn't even think about that when I put this shirt on. Proof of life, check in. That's number one. If you're going on a date, if you've met somebody on a dating app, red flag number one, and this is a common thing with people who date or go on these dates or meet these women on these apps. If two women show up, that is a red flag. Just end the date. Don't even pursue. That's a red flag. That's a no-no. Excuse me. So the next thing is, if you're going back to your place, make sure if you're going to Medellin, or if you're going to a country with the intention of dating, And this is one of the reasons why a lot of these properties do not allow you to bring guests. It's a safety, it's a safety thing. Make sure that if you find a place that allows you to bring guests, make sure they have security. Make sure that there's a security person in the lobby, or you have make sure that you can check your guests in. And typically, like, if you check a guest in, they need to leave their ID. So like some hotels do allow guests, and they require that your guest leaves an ID. Also, make sure that if your guest leaves, if you're not accompanying your guest out of the building or out of the house or whatever, make sure that security contacts you to make sure everything is all good before they allow that person to leave. I can't tell you how many times people have been found days later because they're using this thing, scopolamine, and they're not doctors. They don't know what dosage to give you, so they're just trying to get what they're trying to, get your money, your credit cards, your electronics and things like that. I would say be mindful of that. And it doesn't matter. I talk to guys all the time. It doesn't matter how nice she is. It doesn't matter if she asks for money on the front end or in the middle, or she waits till you get home. Be very careful. These are transactional meetings. These are transactional, encounters. So keep that in mind if you've met somebody on a dating app. You have to be vigilant. Be vigilant. Just assume it's transactional, especially if you go straight to your hotel, or if you're going to go out for drinks. If you're making arrangements, make sure that a third party knows where you are at all times. I can't stress this enough, and I'm not judging anybody. I don't care why you traveled. My concern right now is your safety. For those of you who are considering, there's a lot of young men, young and old, women too. There are women who travel for dating purposes too, but more so the men. Take heed to what I'm saying and be cautious, be vigilant, and check in with somebody. If you're going to Medellin, look for the expat groups. Listen, I'm in the communities, and I can tell you, there's actually a Facebook group. Go to Facebook and look up scopolamine, and there's a group for scopolamine victims, and you will see weekly, like clockwork, men are sharing pictures of somebody they met on Tinder. And have you seen this woman? She robbed me. Like, things like that. Or even worse, have you seen my friend? Like, I haven't heard from my friend in 4 days. I haven't heard from my friend in 2 weeks. So, this is not a judgment. I'm gonna keep saying this. It's not judgment. I don't care why you travel, unless it's illegal. If you're traveling to date, if you think you're gonna date, or if you're planning to date, if you're preparing to date, keep these things in mind, please. Make sure that if it's just you and the person you met. Do not allow anybody else to accompany you on a date. You find the place, you choose the location. So get recommendations from the community, not recommendations from the person you just met. Recommendations from the community. So at least this way, you'll be in a space that's frequented by members of the community, and there's a higher probability that there's somebody there who can look out for you. Also, if you're going to take them back to your place, to your hotel or your Airbnb, make sure you have security, or make sure somebody is on watch. Make sure somebody's on watch. That's all I got. I hope this helps, and just stay safe out there. Condolences to the young man who with American Airlines. And not just him, like so many other people. We've lost a lot of people in South America to this dating thing with, you know, like I said, they're not medical professionals, so they're not measuring what dosage to give you. They're just giving you enough to knock you out so that they can get what they need and get away. So keep these things in mind. Travel safely. All right, take care, guys.